what some people would think of as a crone, right? Like, oh my gosh. And then the hunger that the curves and the skin and the sensual energy, it's the opposite. Like, this is all giving, and this creates a desire to take that, and like a hunger, and it's become so sad for me that we don't understand the cause and effect, and it's part of what has us think men are terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And part of what, I don't know, what might help is how that women have the desire to take just as much. It's just different what we're trying to take. We want to take attention, right? We want to take security. We want to take your strength and your resources and make sure they're purposed to provide for me and mine. And we'll take it. Just go into any divorce courtroom and watch the taking going on, or any singles bar and watch the attempts at taking. And admiration, appreciation, acknowledgement, accountability, attention, all those things give men power.
Okay, let me say this gently, but honestly. Your husband does not want to feel like he is asking for crumbs of affection in his own marriage. He does not want to initiate every single time. He doesn't want to feel rejected, annoying, or needy for wanting closeness with his own wife. And over time, when he keeps getting shut down, he just stops asking. Not because he stopped wanting you, but because it hurts too much. Physical connection is not just about intimacy. For a lot of men, it is how they feel loved, chosen, and still wanted. When you touch him first, reach for him, flirt with him, you are letting him know, I still want you, I desire you. You still matter to me. And no, this isn't about pressure. It is about being intentional. Your marriage shouldn't be the one place that your husband feels unwanted. So touch your husband before the resentment grows, before distance becomes normal, before silence replaces connection. Stop making the man you chose feel like he has to beg to be desired.
I actually do feel really bad for men because they are falling behind, and that is a fact. That's not like anything controversial. It's statistically supported that men are not as educated, aren't earning as much money, and they don't know how to close the gap because they were never given the tools that women were given, which is like, change yourself, work really hard, improve.
Wait a second, hold on. Let me get this straight. So your advice to, let's say, I don't know, close the gap between the genders would be to shut up, stop complaining, improve yourself, and work harder? See, that's funny because that's exactly what we've been telling y'all. And y'all wouldn't shut up. Oh, it's the patriarchy. It's the reason I'm not a CEO of a Fortune 500 company despite my only experience being a waitress for 15 years. If I told you that, you would be crying on Instagram Live and having all of your followers come attack me. But you know what? It's okay. You know why? Because I feel bad for her. She just wasn't given the tools to, shut up, stop complaining, improve herself, and work harder. And, eventually you'll get there.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that her free wedding is unrealistic?
Oh, a free wedding. Okay.
I, 24-year-old female, am a member of a friend group in which one member, we'll call her Coral, 23-year-old female, is getting married. She announced her engagement to her fiancé, 25-year-old male, a few weeks ago, and we were all happy for her. Over the weekend, though, she shared more specific plans for the wedding, and that's where things have kind of gone off the rails. She said she's been seeing a lot of people on TikTok and Insta showing how to plan free weddings where the couple spends $0, aside from the marriage certificate fee, I guess. At first, I thought she meant a city hall wedding, which would be completely fine. But then she got into the details and her expectations for the ceremony.
Oh, boy.
She's going to try and find someone with a large outdoor space to use, not normally a wedding venue. who will donate their area in support of love.
Why?
She's going to have all of her guests bring a potluck with very specific
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I'm already grossed out.
with very specific assignments. She will have a friend officiate, a friend do photography, a friend do save the dates and invites, her family do the flowers, etc., including some harder to swing, in my opinion, things like getting a large tent, decorations, wedding favors, speakers, band, etc.
Oh.
I'm not sure what her plan was for a dress. What's more is that Coral and her fiance really aren't poor, from what I can tell. She works as an accountant at a big company and her fiance does software sales.
Damn.
Plus, his parents are loaded. It sounds like they just want to do the free wedding thing for the sake of it. That would be okay, but she's just shifting all of the cost onto other people, some of whom are probably less well off. She told me that she wants me to make the cake and then sent me some pictures for inspiration. The cakes were ridiculously elaborate. We're talking multi-tier fondant flowers, gold leaf, and one even had a hand-painted watercolor design.
No, ma'am.
I'm not a professional baker. I just like to bake cookies and brownies sometimes. I told her that those cakes would probably take me days to make.
Yup.
And they wouldn't come out of anywhere near as good. She kind of laughed that off and said, "Oh, it's not about being perfect. It's just about everyone pitching in. It'll be fun."
Okay.
I told her that, fun or not, what she was describing was basically her friends and family subsidizing her wedding with time, money, and labor. And that it was kind of unfair to expect people to spend so much on her free wedding.
Yeah.
Or else she was expecting everyone to show up to a lackluster event and just pretend it was amazing. It's like a group project that none of us wanted to do because we already graduated and moved on from all that, so we don't need the credit. I said that if she wants a free wedding, she should probably just elope or go to City Hall because
Yep.
this isn't really free. It's just
Yep.
free for her.
Yep.
She got super quiet and just looked at me for a minute or so, and then I left with another one of our friends driving her home. Later that night, I got a text from that friend saying I had really hurt Coral's feelings and that even if the plans were a bit unrealistic, I should have just let Coral come to that conclusion on her own.
Oh, no.
Coral then messaged me saying, "Sorry, don't worry about the cake," with no more context.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty bad now, especially
No.
since Coral was so happy and excited,
No.
and she never really said anything mean to me. Perhaps I should have just gone along with the cake.
No.
But I am worried that her wedding would not have been what she wanted. And I was also frustrated about the cake request.
Yeah. That's it.
There's an edit that says, "Honestly, I feel a bit bad now. Coral really is a sweet person who's just a bit naive. I feel like a lot of people in the comments are tearing her up more than she deserves. She's always been the baby of the group, and I just got frustrated and ranted on this case. I don't know what the fiance thinks of all this."
So I'm the wrong person for this kind of thing because this is just not my friends do not to come to me with no like this. But I think her saying for herself that she's not going to be doing that cake. It's not like she got like really anxious about this cake and was trying to think of how she was going to do it. She can't do it. And all this other stuff that's going on. I've seen people who've done this. I've heard of people who've done that.
It's okay to ask. It's also
Yeah.
okay to say no.
Correct.
You did the right thing. Y'all went back and forth about it. It doesn't sound like you were rude about it, but it sounds like you're trying to get her to live in reality, which honestly, this is one of those things where it's hard to tell pretty much any woman to be realistic about it. They'll sit up there and tell you their feelings. Well, I've been dreaming about this since I was a little girl, yada, yada, yada. And because it's supposed to be one day, or I mean, it's really not even one day. It's months, depending on how long y'all plan the wedding. It's months of you sitting up here, listening, go do this, running errands. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that, quite honestly, her attitude gets out of pocket, her mouth gets out of pocket, and nobody holds her accountable. Nobody stops her from saying certain things. It's kind of the same vibe of if you have a baby or if she's on her cycle where, oh, well, just my hormones or whatever and whatnot, or it's just my emotions and I can't control them. There are certain situations where I can't control my emotions. And so that means I talk to you crazy. And not only do I talk to you crazy, I never apologize. You're supposed to just understand that you're going to get talked to like you're crazy, and there's nothing that you can and should do about it. If you try to do something about it, I'll try to get some of the men in my family to deal with you if it goes to that. But first, it's going to be my friends, my girls, trying to come up and check you. You get on her page, mister. She's the one that's suffering. You do this, and this. This is delusional. And I'm surprised her fiance didn't tell her that, which honestly and truly, he probably did. He probably tried to tell her, but she's not listening. And so she brought it to the group. What she was trying to do is, what she's thinking is, well, you guys are my friends, so you should just want to do it. This is something that I would do for you. If it came to that, I would pitch in and try to help and do this, and this. Essentially what you're doing is we're starting a GoFundMe for your wedding. And you would also do that same thing for a bridal shower, a baby shower. This is going to be a trend that continues basically. Whenever something big comes up, I want you to fund that. And I know you're talking about her being wealthy and her fiance being loaded. You honestly don't know what those people are going through. And I don't say that as a slight to you or like a disrespectful attack on you, but you just don't know what people are going through. You don't know what they got going on. They can present something and then you find out to the contrary. So she might be on her own. And the way that she can find to do it is, oh, well, maybe my friends will help me out. But instead of saying, hey, don't have the money that I thought I would. Actually, I don't have much money at all. Only the money that I have saved in my bank account for this. And it's like $500. So I wanted to see if you guys might be able to help me do something that's really nice for my budget of like $500. And that's when your friends are going to step up and say, oh, girl, we on board. We going to ride for you. You got $500. I would be surprised if those women didn't raise another at least $1,000. They would go hungry. They would stretch it, but they would raise that money for you. But what you're asking is outside of the realm of people's possibility. The woman said, I can only bake cookies. And I do that from time to time. What you're asking me is something that's out of my capability. I might be able to give you $100, $200, and then like everybody else pours into it, and y'all are able to buy something and do something like really nice and start decorating. You can get on Etsy, you can get on eBay, you can go to one of these places and call and say, hey, you can order from Temu, Shein. You can order a lot of stuff and it'd be super cheap, and you can still get the look that you're going for, and it still be really nice. By the time you take those photos, and once again, hiring a photographer, that not gonna be that expensive, depending on where you go, you can get some really good pictures. Now, you might not be able to get 100, 200, 300 pictures, but he can say, or she can say, I can give you 50 really nice, like really, really good pictures. And that'll be your wedding, right? But you have to adapt and change your mind to what you have available, which most modern women don't really want to do.
What's your age?
My age? 22.
Are you single?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I don't want to be one of the who says this, but my standards up here. Hey! Honestly, I just haven't found that guy who isn't evil. If you're not evil, hit my line.
What has led you to even feel that way, though?
Almost every guy I've ever dated has gone back to their ex, so leave that in the past, flash forward, and picture me like pregnant without your baby and like married, right? Is that the vibe?
Do you feel like they went back because of comfort, or was it due to you?
100% not me. It's comfort. It's always like, she took my virginity, I miss her so much, and it's like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I can't baptize you again. You're a fucking loser. What? Gag.
So they go back to their exes out of comfort.
But now I sound like a loser. No, guys, stop. I've got a date tomorrow. Zach, if you're watching this.
I know some people are gonna get mad when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because a lot of you need to hear it. Why do some women think that a man wanting to be treated equally is giving him princess treatment. Men deserve to be treated well just as much as you do. I see a lot of women complaining about their exes, and yeah, if your ex didn't treat you right, then yeah, go ahead and complain about it. That's your right. But when I see you get into your next relationship and you don't treat your man well, how's that look? It's extremely hypocritical when you say, well, he cheated on me, well, he looked at other girls, but you point out a guy and you say that he's hot, or you point out a guy and say that you would rather have him. You are in a relationship. Why are you saying that? You wouldn't tolerate it from your man, so why do you get to do it to him? You can't have the double standard. Different people have different ideas about what a man should do in a relationship and what a woman should do in a relationship, and that's your personal opinion, and that's fine. I think men should emotionally be treated equally, and we should have empathy for our partners. We shouldn't call our boyfriends or husbands weak because they're emotionally vulnerable with us. They're supposed to be. We shouldn't call them soft for wanting to be treated fairly. How can you expect him to be emotionally intelligent or there for you emotionally when you don't even respect the way that he feels? You don't want a heartless man, but when you have a man, you treat him as if his heart does not matter. We're all human, and if you really do love somebody, you should treat them that way.
I met my husband while he was in the middle of a custody battle. My husband is a good man and a great father. He was there at the birth, at every single religious sacrament, at every single sports game and school event. But despite that, despite living 1 mile away from his son, he was only able to see him 4 days a month. I used to say that all he wanted was more time with his son, but that's not true. My husband only ever asked for 50-50, so what he was asking for wasn't more time, it was fair time. It was the time his son always deserved to spend with him. A lot of time has passed since then, thousands of dollars for both of us, years, anxiety for both of us, and we finally got that 50-50. Life's a lot better now, but I can't help but wonder why he had to fight to begin with. Why is it that anybody thinks that every other weekend is okay when it's only 20% of the year? If a kid is only seeing their dad every other weekend, it means that by the time they're 10 years old, they've lost 8 years with their dad. I genuinely believe that 50-50 custody should just be the starting point for most families. I think it's sad that we value a father's checkbook more than we value his presence. I think it's sad that my stepson lost so much time with his father for no reason. And it's the reason that I'm never going to stop advocating for family court reform. These kids need their dads, and I'm going to make sure they get them.
Y'all gotta stop idolizing celebrities. And I'm mainly talking to women here. A lot of women develop obsessions with men they've never met before. And because those men have a platform, fame, or movie credits, morals suddenly get bent or ignored. Just because someone is a celebrity doesn't mean they're a good person. It doesn't excuse dishonesty, disrespect, or just harmful behavior. Visibility isn't character, and fame isn't integrity.
Fully aware that I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating Black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another Black man is like 1% at this point.
Or am I disbelieving a lot? So I want to listen to what this woman has to say. It is probably one of the least controversial things. I haven't even heard it, but I bet you it's just basic common sense. But I want y'all to know that at the same time, you got Black women who are trying to convince you that Black American men are no good. You got other races of women who are flocking to them, who are happily accepting them. So at some point, we have to ask ourselves, is it really true that there are no good Black men? And I think when these ladies recognize, like, okay, you can take it for granted, but other women are picking them up. They're having healthy lives. They're treating them with respect. They're treating them well. Then it can cause you maybe to sit back and be like, okay, like, am I really believing the truth? Did I just get caught up in the bitter Betty Brigade and I'm just over here getting pumped with all this anti-Black misandry and I'm not looking for men in my community of value and worth because I'm so blinded by hatred? Like, is that what's going on? And I think for some women that is. I think there is ultimately some Black women who they're so caught up in their trauma or so caught up in their disdain for Blackness or Black men that they are overlooking those who are very, very good. And these other racist women are grabbing. And honestly, I mean, I'm not mad at a Black man for going for a lady or for a woman who treats them with respect. I'm not. I am just saying that I think a little bit of pressure and competition is good because hopefully for at least some, it may cause them to take a step back and start to recognize the value that is there.
Today we have the top things men do care about. The guys are going to be not surprised at all at how short this list is, but the ladies might be shell-shocked. Number one, to no surprise, is your past. Guys care about your past. No guy wants a ran-through girl. And if they say they do, they're probably lying just to get some close. The guys care about your past, whether you like it or not. Number two, the peace of mind you bring him. And this is the most important, because the woman you choose will either make or break you. She's either going to make you 10x the man you are or 10x worse the man you are. So the peace of mind that you bring him is the single most important thing. Because if you bring him peace of mind, he's going to love you way more than any woman who's a headache. No guy wants to come home from work and have to handle some problems. So peace of mind. And that's the end of my list. Obviously, being attracted to the woman you're with, all those things are important. But these are the top two most important. If you can master these two, not get ran through, and bring your man peace of mind, you'll never lose him. Simple as that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today, and I'll see you at the same time again tomorrow.
To my decenter men girlies, to my we don't want men, we don't want kids, can we have a discussion? Can y'all do me a favor? I love that you guys have found peace in your singleness. I love that you guys have come to the conclusion that marriage, family, children, a man is not for you. We need rich aunties. I love that. I never want a woman to get married if she doesn't want to get married. I don't push marriage on women that don't want to be married. But not all of us want that life. Some of us have found, and are looking for healthy, happy marriages because they exist. Not every woman is destitute. Not every woman is a slave. Not every woman in a relationship is miserable. And although you guys think because we like men, we love them, and we enjoy men, that they're the center of our lives, and they're not. We don't have to decenter men because a man is not the center of our world. God is. We just know how to choose and select healthy men or kick the bad ones out of our lives so that we are living a life of peace and joy that fulfills us. Not every woman is miserable or acting like she's in a relationship that she's not online. I can have empathy for every woman's story because every woman's story, whether she had good intentions or not, did not always end up in her favor. But some of us don't want to be rescued, don't need to be rescued, because if we did not ask, please stop projecting on us, please. I don't know how many times I've been called a pick-me, told to decenter men when that ain't what we doing over here. I am communicating with the women who want to be wives and who want to have families on how to have the best options as possible by working on themselves. We don't have to decenter men because men are not the center of our world. God is. Also, if a woman wants a family, marriage is her best route for a plethora of reasons that y'all don't care about, which is fine. We don't have to have that conversation. I will keep that for the women who want marriage and families, but please leave us alone. If we are not asking, if we did not call you, please read the room and understand everybody's not on the same type of time. So we are fine. We love it here, or we're figuring it out. But please, we don't come in y'all spaces telling y'all, hurry up and get married. So please don't come over here telling us decenter men to leave men alone. All men are trash. That is not our experience. That's not what we're settling for. Thank you.
Women complain about men lusting after them, but then dress like they're trying to get attention. So make it make sense, girl. Make it make sense. But you know what? I'm about to say something that's going to make a lot of women uncomfortable. But someone needs to call this out because the reality is we can't have it both ways. We live in this culture where women are constantly complaining about how men objectify them and how tired they are of being looked at. And I get it. Unwanted attention can be uncomfortable and disrespectful. But then I see the same woman posting thirst traps, wearing barely anything, and dressing in ways that are clearly designed to get male attention. You're literally putting your body on display and then getting mad when men look. Where's the logic in that? And before you come at me saying I'm not doing it for male attention, I'm doing it for me, girl, let's be for real right now. Because I used to dress like that too, and I wanted to believe I was doing it for me. But really, at the end of the day, deep down, I was doing it for male attention. So, no, you are too. If you don't want to be objectified, then stop objectifying yourself. It's really that simple. It It really is. But in all honesty, we need to take accountability for the energy we put out in the world. You can't dress for attention and then complain when you get it.
Guys, one thing I will never understand is children taking their stepfather's surname. Like, if your parents break up and you have the really great stepfather that stepped in, blah, blah, so, like, take your mom's surname if it really bothers you. Why are you taking a non-biological person's surname? It's weird.
So a woman in the comments said, what is weird about this is their choice. There are the kind people out there who have a big heart and look after others' kids, spread love, and we are nobody to judge their dynamics. The other guy says it's not weird. You can choose your biological parents. Taking your stepfathers, you can't choose your biological parents, excuse me. Taking your stepfather's name is a way of choosing them, and I think it's a really loving gesture. It is, especially if, you know, whatever happens to your biological father, I think it depends on the situation, actually. If your biological father just passed away and, you know, there was no bad blood, right, then, you know, well, I keep my dad's last name in his honor. Or, I mean, you know, I think it just depends, right? In that situation, you say, well, you know, this man, I love my daddy, but this man came in after my dad died, and I was in a bad place. I was in a bad place. I didn't, you know, I wasn't really looking forward to life anymore, to, you know, put it mildly. And this man came in and it gave me a fresh perspective. He really stepped up, and he was a father to me in my difficult times and my times where I didn't like him, where I didn't like anybody, right? I didn't even like my mama. But, you know, he didn't have to put up with me. He didn't have to put up with my shenanigans, but he stayed, and I appreciate him for that. Right. And so this is just a way for me to honor him. You can do that. That's fine. You know, in situations where your dad isn't even there and another man comes in, you never even knew your biological father. You might take this man's last name because he is actually your father. He is actually the man that comes in and does for you. Like your biological father, whom you don't know, didn't. So, I mean, there's a plethora of reasons that you could take your stepfather's last name. And once again, you're saying this, and this is why men are like, well, I'm going to get shafted anyway. I'm going to get the raw end of the deal anyway. Like you're going to say that I don't deserve this when I've been taking care of somebody for umpteen years. It's not even mine. Come on, man. You really could have a better take than this.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that proposing is not a suitable Christmas present? I have a friend who I'll be calling Harry. Harry and I have known each other for over a decade. We're in our early 30s. He was a part of my own wedding party, and 99 times out of 100, he's an all-around great guy. Harry has been dating his girlfriend for around 4 years. She's an absolute diamond and brings out all of the best qualities in him.
Aww.
A couple of weeks ago, Harry confided in me that he was planning to propose to his partner over Christmas. She's very family focused, and he is setting it up so his parents unexpectedly visit them. They're doing Christmas with her family this year, early in the morning, and he will propose during present opening in front of his and her parents and her siblings and their partners and kids. When chatting about arrangements a couple of days ago, Harry made a throwaway comment about the engagement, saving him some time in relation to the rest of his Christmas shopping. I asked him what he meant, and he said that since he was proposing, he hadn't planned to get his partner anything else for Christmas. I said that the two were not mutually exclusive. When I got engaged, albeit not at Christmas, my husband still got me a birthday present the following month. Harry raised that the ring was costing him more than several usual Christmas and birthday presents combined, which is true, but it is not the case that he is scraping together every last penny to buy it, and there is absolutely money to spare for a couple of gifts that he would usually get his partner. I also pointed out that since he is hoping to surprise her with the proposal, that it would become quite obvious that something was afoot if there were no presents for her from him under the tree. We went back and forth for a while, with Harry continuing to take the stance that getting engaged is definitely a gift. I said that it was all well and good, but that his girlfriend will absolutely have bought him presents and that he will both appreciate and use, and that an engagement is in no way the same kind of exchange in that sense. Additionally, while his partner is in no way materialistic, she is someone who appreciates the give and take of mutual present exchanges like Christmas, white elephants, etc. We didn't have a major fight or anything like that about this, but Harry said that he's probably not going to share more about the engagement with me because I have differing views. I don't want to be a stubborn old fool on something I'm clearly wrong about, so I would appreciate the view of internet strangers on this. I would be annoyed. Why are you skimping out on my Christmas presents? If you would have picked a random Tuesday, I would have still got Christmas presents and I would have been engaged.
Yeah. Well,
so why are you messing with me now? Why are you taking away presents?
Oh my God.
So a woman here in the comments said, my ex-fiance said the ring was the gift. So when I finally left him, I was able to use that in small claims court when he wanted the ring back. He legally gifted it to me and wasn't entitled to it being returned. I sold it and took myself on the trip to Scotland. I found my new partner there. It was truly the best gift he could have ever given me, is what she meant to say. You know, I know you guys probably think that this is a flex, but this is a sign of immaturity. And this is the type of stuff that make men walk away from relationships, because he has to put in, he has to pay for that. So instead of you doing the right thing and just giving it back to him because you're not accepting his proposal, instead of giving it back to him, you would rather play this weird game like, oh, well, you know, it's a gift, and then go take it and pawn it and put the money in your pocket and then go somewhere. Oh, I met my partner. Just give him the ring back. It's not yours. Just give it back to him. Period. Like, you guys are not getting married. He's giving it to you on the this is what we're talking about when men don't, or women, modern women don't have any morals. They don't have any values that are upstanding. They talk about men and they get mad at men because, oh, the bar's in hell, yada, yada, yada. Men don't do this, men don't do that. But then they turn around and they do weird undercover, like sleight of hand stuff like this. Like this is like, y'all know y'all shouldn't be doing this. Y'all understand you shouldn't be doing this. And you did it anyway because you think it's cute, you think it's funny, and oh, it's turned into this. But if somebody did that to you, you'd be upset, right? So y'all need to learn to start acting right. Now, if your partner do you wrong, you're going to get upset, but you're not going to say that this is something that you had coming to you.
The hottest thing a man can do is stop pursuing. Like, that is more attractive. And know he's high value, be like, give her like some type of high value answer of like, no, okay, how about I get back to you when you have more time to talk or whatever. If she's giving you one word answers, things like that. But like, the hottest thing a man does is takes that away, because if he keeps on trying to make dinner plans with you or keeps trying to do things when you're like barely texting him, you're like, this guy's so annoying. It's like not hot. But the reverse is like attractive.
Yes.
So I do agree with the notion that dating should be equal reciprocity, and that a man shouldn't just keep pouring all of his time and energy into a woman who is not giving him a lot of effort back. But I don't like this framing of how it's just so hot when he pulls back, and that a man should pull back if he wants a woman to be more interested in him. Because I think that if you can only make a woman interested in you by creating this false sense of scarcity, odds are she's probably not that interested in you to begin with. And I've been on both ends of this, so I do understand how this happens. But I do think a lot of times, even if that person starts to show you more interest when you pull back, it's not really because they're actually interested in you most of the time. Generally, it's because they miss the attention, they miss the validation, maybe you were giving them the ego boost, and so when you kind of pull back, they feel like they're at a deficit. But I've personally rarely seen any of these situations actually turn into a long-term relationship, because I do think often the way people start kind of ends up being the way they continue. I'm not saying this is always true, but generally generally speaking. And people who are really looking for a long-term relationship and are kind of over the game playing, they're not going to want to play all of these hot and cold games just to maintain somebody's interest. Because the truth is that once you get into a long-term relationship, it's going to be stable. It's going to be boring. It's going to be familiar. It's not always going to be this, exciting dopamine rush or this crazy roller coaster. So if you're somebody who can only maintain someone's interest by giving them high highs and low lows, or sort of depleting them of validation, or kind of making them chase you, in my opinion, that's not somebody that I personally feel like, at least at the moment, would be good for a stable relationship. And I'm saying this as somebody who was guilty of some of these behaviors in the past and then really had to step back and evaluate why I was choosing certain people. Sometimes people who are emotionally unavailable will specifically choose people they know they couldn't actually be with, or people who are not fully reciprocating their energy, because they know that they won't actually have to commit to that person and they won't have to actually go into the boring, stable routine of being in a relationship. But for those people, subconsciously, they can also kind of sit back and kind of feel like they are like the victim, or that they only choose people who don't actually want to be with them. Meanwhile, anytime that they actually meet somebody who reciprocates that effort, they tend to lose interest in them. So I do think that if you're somebody who has a secure attachment style and you're kind of over these games, even if you could in theory get somebody's attention by playing these hot and cold games and sort of making them chase your validation, that might be good for a quick ego boost or even for something casual, but I don't think that it's good for a relationship. I think there's a lot of people in the dating pool now who are sort of addicted to the novelty, addicted to the honeymoon phase, addicted to spontaneity and mystery. And so when they meet somebody who is just reliable and consistent, they just don't feel anything with them because they don't actually want, or they're not actually ready for, the responsibility that comes with a long-term relationship. So I do think that what she's saying is right, that somebody, a man or woman, should pull back if they're not getting that effort reciprocated. But I don't think that that person should go back to that person, even if that person turns around and now wants their time or energy. But that is my personal opinion based on my experience. So let me know what you guys think. Bye.
I mean, you really hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. It's playing games, which is what a lot of modern women do. They play games. They like the thrill of it, right? They don't usually like the end result. They don't usually like the end result of the game playing, because they think they're going to get, modern women always think they're going to get the best of the situation, right? So, give me a little challenge, give me a little pushback. Let me know that you're fierce. Let me know that you have some aggression in there. Like, let me know that you're not such a nice guy. You're a nice guy on the outside, but there's a little bit of a dog in you. There's a little bit of like a beast inside of you where you're not taking my stuff. I really want to be put in my place right now. That's what they're talking about. Unfortunately, Chad he's all too happy to take you up on this challenge. Average men are going to be like, no, I'm really looking for somebody that cares for me. I care about them. And that's really all I want. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any nonsense going on around here. The modern women continue to try to pull him into that game. He backs up and he goes the other way. Chad has said, I thank you, Joe. It's my time to go. I'm about to dive in. Trey Songz. And that's exactly what they do. Step back, Joe. I'm going to take it from here. Hold on. I got you. I'm coming over. And he plays those games with you to a T. He plays those games and you like it. You really, really like it. And you continue doing this for a time period, what some might call a phase for women. And then after that phase, you realize, Chad and Tyrone didn't really like me. They really didn't care about me. They really only wanted me for my body. But Joe here, he liked all of me. Every single part of me, he actually enjoyed. And he showed me that. He was very intentional about showing me what he liked about me, why he liked it. He loved everything about me, my curves. And he would tell me, oh, I love your body. It's beautiful. I love your hair. I love your eyes. I love your smile. I love this about your personality. I love this about who you are. I'm loving to get to know your family. And you guys sit there and you have jokes about the quirkiness of some of the members. And you guys have gone to Thanksgiving together, Christmas together. He's even taking you out. Even though y'all are not exclusive, he's taking you out for dinner on Valentine's Day or the day before or the day after, right? He somewhere in there, in the weekend of Valentine's Day or the week of Valentine's Day, he's taking you out. Hey, is anybody taking you out? No, not really. I don't really have anybody to take me out, so I'm just kind of chilling at home. Man, get dressed. I'm coming by. I'm gonna take you somewhere. I want to know if you like this spot. Where are we going? Don't worry about it. Just get dressed. I'm on my way. I'll be in there in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? I don't have enough time. So you go in there in about 20 minutes. You're really ready in 30 minutes. He's standing outside or waiting outside for about 10 minutes, right? Or if you guys actually know each other, he's sitting in the living room for about 10, 15 minutes waiting for you to get ready. That's the man that you need to be with. That's the spontaneity that you're looking for. That man that will try to make up the gap. He will try to bridge the gap and make up the hedge for people who are playing games. The problem is y'all come to the realization that he was the one after Chad and Tyrone then busted you down and put you through the mattress. Y'all come to that realization too late. And now Joe is like, hey man, I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. I think I'm just an average guy. I don't got what he's got. I don't have the clothes or the charisma or whatever it is that he's got. But I got love for you. And I tried to show you that on multiple occasions. I've given my money to you, money that I didn't have. I've given you time I should have, honestly and truly, if we're honest, been spending with my family, been spending with my friends. But I put my friends off. Sometimes I put my family off to try to come out here and hang out with you. But after all that, you just say, oh, I'm going to hang out with Chad. Oh, I can't really make it. I can't really hee. And he can see you and he can hear you laughing on the other line. He can hear Chad on the other line in the background, trying to kind of giggling and making rude and silly remarks. But y'all figure that out too late. And then you get mad at the world because Chad and Tyrone didn't wasted your time. But it's really you that wasted your time.
What would you say is one red flag in a man?
Somebody who's flashy with their jewelry. Like, a man walking around with 2 gold chains or like diamond chains. This is okay.
Just take a shot.
No, this is, the nose piercing, earrings.
Why would you say that's a red flag?
Because usually guys that are like that are like flashy and it's like they're trying to show off that they have money, but then they really don't.
Have you ever had like an experience where you're dating someone like that?
No, I don't date men. Men are trash.
So do you date women now?
No. I just have fun.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Are you single?
Yes, what's the question?
Why are you single right now?
Why am I single? Because these men I'm not gonna be for nobody who's not shit. Don't waste my time.
Why though?
Because if you're gonna play my face, I'm gonna play your face back. Goodbye.
Be honest with me. You think men or women lie more?
Men! What? I caught this man lying in my face. What are we talking about?
What did he lie about?
He lied about who he... Get out. Bye. Bye, bitch. Bye. The fuck? I know you heard that. Bye. Get the fuck out of my video. All right, anyways.
How can you be 19 and already assign yourself to a life of attitude and degeneracy? And that's the power of the misinformation that we have on social media. Girls are 19 ruining their whole potential of life. Because once you act like this as a woman, you can't take it back. That is there forever. Not only is it there forever, it's on the internet. Her future husband is going to have to watch that after realizing that he's settled for, quote unquote, I'll let you fill in the gap. So what's happening in the world of females right now is they're choosing a bad man. That man then treats them bad and they generalize the whole population of males with that one specific man that they chose because they didn't realize what was important in a man. Probably because they found him on a dating app or in a club. This kind of behavior as a young woman is going to negatively impact the rest of your life. Men, stay away from females like this.
It's funny because they all want the same type of man.
5'1".
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
5'10", minimum height.
Remember, this video says minimum height, and most of them say a lot of numbers that a lot of men don't have.
How tall are you?
5'9".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'4". I gotta get my kids right.
How tall are you?
5'6".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. I like me a good height difference.
How tall are you?
5'7".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'2". I just like a guy who's taller than me.
How tall are you?
5'4".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". That's a good distance from my height.
How tall are you?
5'7".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. I want you to be taller than me when I'm wearing heels.
How tall are you?
5'4"-ish.
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. Because why not?
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". I would never date a short guy.
How tall are you?
5'1".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". I just can't do a short guy.
How tall are you?
5'4".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'11". That's a good height.
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'11". I don't want no short man.
How tall are you?
5'3".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. Because I don't want nobody short.
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 feet. You have to be taller than me. 5'5".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 feet. Because it's a good height.
How tall are you?
4'10".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
Here, but preferably around here. I'm already short. I don't want my kids to be short too.
So I did a little research. Average height for men in the United States, because they're now overseas, is 5 feet 9 inches. And I searched this one up too. About 14.5% to 16% of men in United States are 6 feet tall or taller. Translation, roughly 17 to 19 million men. Mind you, that's not accounting for if he looks good, if he makes a certain amount, if he's not socially awkward, if he's not fat, already married. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into play for a man that's 6 feet or taller. And I guarantee you that most of these women will settle for a man that's 5'8", if he's attractive enough or if he has a lot of status. Because a lot of these women have an overinflated sense of ego and don't really know how the world works. And if you don't want to settle for a man that height, then you're going to have to share him. Because a lot of women fail to realize you have options, but a man that you're desiring for that has the requirements that you want has other options.
These men be knowing that they baby mamas is some bops for real. That is why some of them don't commit to their baby mama and will move on and marry another woman and give her a completely different life. See, a lot of women want to believe that men are slow and that they're not paying attention, but actually they just choose not to mention the things that they see or they pay attention to. And that is why it is so blindsiding when they just decide that they're going to cheat and or just up and leave you. Like, well, you didn't say anything. You didn't complain about anything. Baby, that takes effort to complain. Half the time, they're just going to leave because they've seen what they need to see. These men pay attention to your actions just as much as we pay attention to theirs. So if you allow a man to come up in your house and be raw dogging you and feeding you seafood boils and telling you all this BS and you're eating it the fuck up and letting him have his way with you, he knows exactly how you get down, because in his mind, if you get down with him like that, how many men before him or after him will you get down with just like that? And this is how a woman can have completely different experiences with the same man. Yeah, the woman that he decides to marry, she might have had boundaries. She might have not been giving him full access to her. She might have required him to do certain things for her before she even gave him access to her time, her body, or anything. And yeah, that man might see something different in her, and that's why he decided to make her his wife and not his baby mama. And some of these men know that their baby mama have very little value and that they won't be able to do better than him. And sometimes that is the case. See, these women will go out here and sell you a dream, telling you that they can cook, they can clean, they're a good woman, they're this and that. But your actions, the way that you move, the way that you handle situations, they're not seeing that. And this isn't all baby mamas or women with children, but there is a specific archetype of women that keep going out here and getting into relationships with men and keep producing children and have no ring. And they'll tell you that they're not worried about having a ring, but in all actuality, at one point, they probably did want a ring. They just were never going to get it because the man see what he had to see. And yes, these type of women will be bitter. They will be upset that he moved on and married somebody that he felt like he closely aligned with versus you. And then they will tell you that this man is no good, he's terrible, he's this and that. But in all actuality, if you're just giving it out and handing it out, these men will take it. That's why you just don't hand that shit out. If you're going to be doing that, you might as well get paid for it. Just saying.